first thing you should do when you enter the US on a non-immigrant visa is to look at your passport and see the date that CBP wrote on the passport stamp. That's the date that you need to depart the US by. Now, they typically will give you a certain period of time for certain types of visas. For example, on a B visa, they typically give you 6 months. If you're traveling on the ESTA visa waiver program, they'll give you 90 days. Or if you're on an E2, for example, they'll give you usually 2 years. But they have the power to give you less time. So you need to be sure that you know whether or not they've given you less time than is normally allotted to people entering on these visas. For example, I've had people come to me who entered on ESTA. They assumed that they had 90 days because that's normally what people get. But CBP actually only gave them 2 weeks. They didn't check their passports, so they didn't know, and they accidentally overstayed their visa, and it created a lot of issues for them in the future. Now, I don't want that to happen to anybody else, so be sure that as soon as you cross the border, look at your passport and be sure that you know how long CBP has allowed you to stay in the US. Now, the next thing you should do is to go to their website and look at your I-94 to be sure that that matches with what was in your passport stamp. Now, I'm going to run through really quickly how to get on their website and how to check your I-94. So the first thing, just Google I-94, and this will come up. The first result will be the i94.cbp.dhs.gov. Click on this, and then get most recent I-94. You click here. You're on the CBP website now. Look through the terms of service. If you agree, you hit acknowledge and agree, and then you can enter your information here. It's pretty simple: first name, last name, date of birth, passport, and then passport country of issuance. When you put this information in, CBP will generate the I-94 for you. It'll come up from within their system, and you can see, the date that you enter, some information about you, and the date that you're authorized to stay until. Now, make sure that they have given you the same amount of time that they've given you in your passport. If there's a discrepancy, if the I-94 online doesn't match what they've written in your passport, reach out to us. We'll work with you to figure out the issue. We can contact CBP to get that fixed. But the bottom line is make sure that you know how long you are allowed to stay in the US. Don't assume that they've given you the full amount of time, because I don't want you to accidentally overstay your visa and get it revoked and possibly have a 3 or even 10-year ban on your record. Thanks.